In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 college football games happening on November 5th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Kent State versus Ball State. It is Maction time once again, bringing a midweek clash that perfectly captures the essence of the Mid-American Conference. On Wednesday night, 2 middle-of-the-pack programs square off in a matchup built on parity and persistence. The Kent State Golden Flashes will travel to face the Ball State Cardinals in a game that feels evenly matched in nearly every way. For Kent State, this season represents a meaningful step forward after an abysmal 2024 campaign in which the team failed to win a single game. Expectations were extremely low entering the year, with a new roster, a new system, and more uncertainty than optimism. Yet despite those challenges, the Golden Flashes have earned 3 victories and hold a 2-2 record within the conference. Ball State's story carries a similar tone. The Cardinals ended last season just ahead of Kent State in the standings and made sweeping changes in the offseason, hoping to stabilize the program. They now sit at 3-5 overall, also 2-2 in conference play, a mark that reflects both improvement and inconsistency. These 2 teams mirror each other, both rebuilding, both unpredictable, and both capable of winning or losing in dramatic fashion. What separates them in this meeting could be the strength of Ball State's defensive front and the advantage of playing at home. The Cardinals' pass rush, led by Nathan Boris, has been a steady presence all season and should apply constant pressure to DeShields, especially with Kent State likely missing multiple starters on the offensive line. Offensively, Ball State has not been explosive, but the unit has shown flashes when able to establish rhythm through Kelly's mobility and Ashley's running ability. Against a Kent State defense that has allowed heavy rushing totals throughout the season, that formula could prove effective in controlling the clock and maintaining field position. Kent State, for its part, showed grit in a recent comeback win, suggesting a team growing in confidence and belief. At 3-5, the Golden Flashes have already exceeded what many expected of them, and that alone gives them momentum heading into this contest. They have won 2 of their last 3 games, though each victory came within the comfort of their home stadium. Ball State's record reflects the reverse trend. Their struggles have come on the road, while at home they have been perfect in their last 3 appearances, building consistency on familiar turf. When analyzing both sides, the offensive picture remains bleak. Kent State and Ball State sit at 131st and 132nd in total offense among 134 FBS teams. That ranking paints a clear picture. Neither team generates much production. The schemes will likely be straightforward, the play calling conservative, and the explosive plays few. Yet within that simplicity lies the essence of the matchup. The Golden Flashes are likely to be without key linemen in an offense already stretched thin. Neither program has managed to win a game away from home this season, but Ball State's dominance at home offers a tangible edge. Kent State's recent success could represent the high point of its season, and fatigue, injuries, and regression could begin to take hold as the schedule wears on. Ball State has the sturdier roster, steadier defense, and stronger positioning for this meeting. As our first pick for this matchup, the Ball State Cardinals to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In 3 of their last 4 meetings, Kent State and Ball State have gone under the total. Both offenses have been unreliable, and neither side has shown an ability to sustain drives for long stretches. The running games are inconsistent, and neither passing attack has provided balance. Kent State averages roughly 3 touchdowns per game, a modest total that speaks to its limitations, while Ball State produces similar numbers but has scored 7 or fewer points in 2 of its last 3 outings. Quarterback play remains inconsistent, and both offensive lines have struggled to protect. leading to hurried throws, stalled drives, and missed opportunities in the red zone. Sustained possessions will be rare, and time of possession will matter far more than total yardage. Both teams have leaned on conservative, ground-based offenses that favor controlling the clock rather than chasing explosive plays. Kent State has struggled to establish a rhythm on the ground, while Ball State's passing game ranks among the least productive in the conference. On defense, each team has shown just enough discipline to disrupt opponents at key moments. They may not dominate, but they do enough to create negative plays, sacks, and turnovers that halt momentum. This style of football rarely produces high scores. Instead, it invites long possessions, field position battles, and frequent punts. The game will likely follow a deliberate pace, with Ball State attempting to pound the ball and wear down Kent State's front, while the Golden Flashes look for quick, opportunistic strikes to catch the defense off balance. Yet both approaches will face resistance. Red zone trips will be limited, and scoring efficiency will likely lag behind time of possession. The matchup points toward a methodical, grinded-out affair, where patience and execution decide the outcome rather than explosive athleticism. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Northern Illinois versus Toledo. The Northern Illinois Huskies make their way to the banks of the Maumee River to square off against the Toledo Rockets at the Glass Bowl on Wednesday night, setting up another compelling midweek clash in the Mid-American Conference. Both programs enter this matchup searching for stability, consistency, and proof of progress as the regular season enters its late stages. For Northern Illinois, there is renewed optimism after finally securing its first conference victory of the year, a 21-7 win that showcased a more balanced effort. That result did not come easily, yet it reflected growth in execution, particularly on defense. This is the same team that hung tough against Maryland of the Big Ten, losing by just 11 points, and came up short by 6 against Eastern Michigan. Those narrow defeats, paired with last week's win, speak to a team that has been far more competitive than its record suggests. Toledo, by contrast, finds itself in a stronger overall position, with a deeper roster and more proven offensive talent. However, the Rockets may face the classic challenge of focus, with a matchup against the Miami, Ohio Redhawks, the current leader in the conference, looming next week. Toledo could easily be tempted to look ahead. The timing of this game creates a perfect setup for complacency, which Northern Illinois could use to its advantage. If the Huskies can dictate pace early and force the Rockets into uncomfortable possessions, the gap between these teams could narrow quickly. The Huskies have built their offensive identity around the run game, averaging a solid 173 rushing yards per contest. That consistency on the ground allows them to control tempo and keep their defense rested. Toledo's defense has not been airtight against the run, surrendering 162 rushing yards in its most recent outing, a number that leaves room for exploitation. The strength of Northern Illinois lies on the other side of the ball. However, the Huskies' defense has been one of the most dependable units in the Mid-American Conference, consistently keeping games within reach. Toledo's passing attack, ranked 47th in the nation, will meet one of its toughest challenges yet. Northern Illinois' secondary has limited opponents to just 167 passing yards per game, the 15th best mark in the country. That level of coverage discipline could disrupt the Rockets' timing and force them to rely more on the run than usual. Last week's 21-7 win over Ball State marked a turning point for Northern Illinois, snapping a 6-game losing streak and offering a much-needed confidence boost. The conditions were far from ideal, with wind and rain shaping the play, but the Huskies adjusted well and controlled the game's flow. They also managed to cover as 6.5-point favorites, ending a 5-game stretch of failing to meet expectations against the spread. Over their past 2 contests, the Huskies have scored exactly 21 points in each, signaling incremental progress from the early season when they managed 14 or fewer points in 5 straight games against Football Bowl subdivision opponents. Even with that improvement, the path to postseason eligibility remains narrow, and the team knows each week may define how the rest of their campaign is remembered. Toledo enters this game with a 2-2 conference record, sitting 1 game ahead of Northern Illinois. The Rockets' performances, however, depend heavily on location. On the road, they have struggled, going 0-4 straight up and 1-3 against the spread. At home, the story flips entirely. The Rockets are undefeated at 4-0 both straight up and against the spread inside the Glass Bowl, a venue that has proven a real advantage. Their offensive outbursts on home turf include several commanding displays, such as the 45-3 win over Akron on September 27th and the 45-10 rout of Kent State on October 18th. That production illustrates the dramatic difference between their road and home performances. Historically, Toledo has claimed the last 3 matchups in this series, covering in 2 of them, though Northern Illinois has managed to cover in each of its last 3 trips to Toledo, a trend that could again carry weight here. As our first pick for this matchup, the Northern Illinois Huskies to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Northern Illinois continues to struggle on offense, ranking near the bottom nationally in scoring and production. The Huskies average only 16.5 points in conference play, reflecting their reliance on field position and defense to stay competitive. Their total offensive output hovers around 276 yards per game, with very little contribution through the air. The passing attack averages just 103 yards per contest, which limits their ability to stretch the field or mount quick scoring drives. This imbalance forces the Huskies to lean even more on the ground game to manage the clock and control tempo. Their defensive presence, however, remains formidable. Northern Illinois has been one of the MAC's most effective defensive teams, allowing an average of only 19 points per game in conference play. This consistency on defense gives the team a foundation even when the offense stalls. Another key factor behind the Huskies' low-scoring profile lies in their deliberate pace. They rank 126 nationally in plays per game, which means they take their time between snaps, focus on ball control, and limit overall possessions. This method slows the game and naturally keeps totals low. For Toledo, the pattern has been similar in certain matchups. The under has hit in 5 of their last 7 conference games, a reflection of their defense's ability to limit scoring opportunities. The Huskies' offensive philosophy centers on extending drives, maintaining possession, and keeping opposing offenses off the field. Toledo's defense, which allows fewer than 20 points per game, complements this style, creating a dynamic where both teams prefer controlled pace and careful execution. Northern Illinois has gone under the total in 6 of its last 8 contests, reinforcing the expectation of another low-output affair. Both teams value possession and minimize mistakes, which tends to slow tempo and limit explosive plays. The Huskies' offense averages only 17 points per game, while Toledo enters fresh from a 7-point showing, an uncharacteristic dip for their usually efficient attack. Together, these patterns point toward a matchup where defense dictates rhythm and long possessions replace quick scoring drives. The contest should feature methodical football, where both teams test patience more than firepower. I expect this to be a defensive clash. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.